All right, part 6, fingers. First thing you'll need is a big piece of leather. Mine's about 8.5 inches by 11 inches. I picked this up at the craft store. Lay it out flat, and then you're going to be using your finger segments as a measuring tool again, just like we did with the aluminum can. Making a lot of marks. This should be enough for 8 fingers. And a little extra. Alright, we got our marks, now let's connect them. Grab you a straight edge. Alright, we got them all done. Now let's cut them out. Cutting these strips really wears your hands out. Especially if you're like me and you don't really do much. You don't have those strong hands. Okay, lay your strip of leather down. And we're going to mark where the digits are going. Or the segments. And in between each segment, we're going to make about a 1/2 inch. So segment, 1/2 inch gap, segment, 1/2 inch gap, segment, 1/2 inch gap. May as well make a 1/2 inch gap on the after the last one too. I think we're going to do that later, but you can do it now. Yep, there it is. We're doing it now. Alright, now we're going to start gluing those little guys on there. Now the hot glue gun and the leather and the wood really, I don't know, it kind of comes off. Especially with all the movement of the finger. So we're gonna be taping that up later with electrical tape. Alright, put your sheet down and lay your completed hand or whatever down, and it should match up pretty closely. Now this is the left hand, so that's going to be middle, the index, ring finger, and pinky. Kind of lay it over there. Now on the sheet, the cables are pretty tangent. They're pretty linear and tangent. Now, if you'll notice, we've got a little problem here. That is not very good. So, we're going to grab an Allen wrench and make it right. Yours is probably perfect. Mine is not. I'm just going to stick the Allen wrench in there and bend it over a little bit. You may have to do that with all of them. You probably will have to do that with all of them. There you go. There's a little movement. There, that looks a little better. Jeez, look at that pinky one. That one's bad. Alright, get you some cable. It's a regular bicycle type cable. You can get at the hardware store. And measure out to the end of the ring. It's better to have more than to have less. And then just all the way out to the tip of the finger. And do about a 1/4 inch past the tip of the finger. Mark it and then clip it. About 1/4 to 1/2 inch past the tip of the finger right there. It's kind of a pain to clip that with those angle cutters. It works really well with a vice grip. Alright, now we're going to take the smaller piece of metal that we made earlier. Going to wedge that in there. And we're going to clamp it on. Grab your vice grip. Or your needle nose pliers. Yeah, I'm going to grab the vice grip, I think. Alright. What we're essentially doing is we're going to be coiling. Well, mine weren't tight enough. We're going to be coiling that strip of metal over the braided wire or braided cable. Now this could be kind of tricky because it just wants to move all over the place. But with patience and a steady hand, you will triumph. Make sure it has a nice tight coil. Now we're going to crimp it. Because I don't trust it to stay on there tight enough. Right there. Now if I set that too tight, it'd just cut right through it. It's got like one flat edge and one sharp edge. Right there. Good to go. And you're going to repeat this step with every finger. Alright, I think we're going to grab some more cable now. Maybe. No, we're going to trim that piece of leather off. That's what we're going to do. Alright, good deal. Now we're going to grab some more cable. What we're going to do is we're going to take this cable and it's going to go the length of the leather. I mean, 2 pieces per finger. I guess I'm going to start up halfway from the very tip segment all the way down to the very end of the leather. You can do the whole thing if you want. It doesn't matter. And then another one. We'll just use that first piece to measure our second. Alright, now we're going to glue these onto the side. This helps give the fingers a little bit of spring. That way when you let go, the hand sort of goes into a straight or relaxed state. And you can kind of see how the leather's coming off that wood right now. Right there in that corner. Put that first one on, give it a little twist. Get that glue saturated in there. And then do this next part on a flat surface. We want to keep that leather piece as straight as possible. What I'm going to do is use my straight edge as a guide. Yeah, it moves pretty easily. Ran out of glue, I guess. It's not necessary to glue over the gaps. As that glue is drying or cooling off, make sure that piece is straight. That side looks good. Let's do the other side now. I tried all sorts of different things to keep these fingers sort of springy. This is probably the cheapest and easiest method. I tried, I think it was vinyl banding that I'd got at work. I had worked in a factory at the time, the first Wolf gloves. And that kind of worked. I don't know. This is very effective, I think. All right, fairly straight. Now we're going to take that piece of aluminum and we're going to get our little tendon cable. and start fishing it through there, or snaking it through there. Don't push on it. I mean, very little pressure when you're going through there, and then kind of give it a few turns, because you don't want those braids to come unbraided, because they start catching and they start running up the whole cable, and it just kind of ruins it. A very light touch, just kind of let the cable feed itself in. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to take our piece of can there, or a little aluminum strip, bend it over the front, and we're going to tape it in place. I like to mold it to the contours of the fingertip. Now this is just going to keep that cable from pushing out. Make sure it's on there nice and tight though. And wrap that tape up real tight. Geez, I used like half the roll on that thing. Anyway, it's wrapped up pretty tight. Feels secure. We're going to go to the next segment of the finger. Wrap that up real tight. All right, we got all the segments. So look at that. Beautiful. All right, now we're going to check the other finger. Probably have to bend that. Yeah, definitely gonna have to bend that too. Just kind of marking where the that wood piece is going to sit on there. Can't make up my mind. Yeah, I guess I was trying to illustrate the path of the wire. In goes the Allen wrench again. Give it a good bend. Looks a little better. I need to bend it a little more. Really elongated that hole. I want to clean that up with the tip of the needle nose pliers. Well, it looks to be in line, even though it's all blurry. I'm going to measure out my cable again, all the way to the end of the ring on the picture, and then a 1/4 inch past the tip of the finger. Clip it, and do what you did with the other finger now. Oh, and that is it for this. We will see you in the next installment.